Hello everybody, my name is Lily, and today I want to answer the question, is Maggie Daley Park in the cold season worth your time? The rules are simple. I'll be rating Maggie Daley based off of 5 factors, each rated 1 through 5. And the categories are enjoyment, activities, scenery, organization, and time value. With all that out of the way, I will see you guys after Maggie Daley. I hate you, Lower Whacker. I hate you so much. Okay, I am back, and I have to say, I'm a big lover of Maggie Daley. Maggie Daley Park is so much fun no matter what season you're in, and it is especially good if you have kids. That is the big thing. Maggie Daley is probably one of the best places to take your kids, whether you live in Chicago or if you're just traveling for a little bit and coming to visit. Maggie Daley is fantastic if you have kids, especially between the ages of 5 and 12. That is the main age demographic of the big thing on Maggie Daley, which is the ginormous park. I have loved the Maggie Daley Park since I was a kid, and we'll be getting into that later. But for now, let's just get into the categories, starting off with enjoyment, which is a 4. Maggie Daley is always a treat to attend to. It is good. It is not the greatest in the winter. In the summer, this would 1000% be a 5. But sadly, we are not in the summer. We are in the winter, and the winter gets a 4 for me. Well, technically, we're in the fall. Personally, I think that the time I'm recording this, being late November, that counts as winter. According to my fiance, we're still in fall, which all I'm saying is if there's ice skating, then it's winter, and I will not hear anything else about it. Next up, activities, which I also gave a 4, because you can either go to the park, you can walk around, or you can ice skate. There is also mini golf, but I'm pretty sure that is closed off during the cold seasons. And that is why it is getting a 4, because there is simply just more to do in the warm season. For example, that lovely ice skating rink becomes a rock climbing wall. And like I said before, there's also mini golf in the warm season, but there is still plenty to do. And let's talk about the park. The park was one of my favorites to go to as a kid. It is one of the most well put together parks in all of Chicago and the suburbs. I have never once seen a park that can beat it, because each of the structures is so unique and there is so much to do, and it facilitates so much creativity than a kid. My favorite as a kid was the Bird's Nest. I absolutely loved the Bird's Nest swing as a kid. It was always my favorite. I thought it was just the coolest swing on earth. I always felt like I was in a comfy little bed when I would be swung in it. But another favorite is the area with the rocking boat. That one I also love. To be fair, I just like anything that rocks, hence why I like the swing. There is also the all ages little park as well. That one you can walk across some wood. There's a whole bunch of cute little art installations. And there is also the lighthouse with the ship. And in the summer, there's also a water area. And overall, fantastic, even with just the park. And on top of that, there is also ice skating, which does cost money, which I will be getting into later with time value, but just know that it is there. It does exist. It's a lot more fun than the one in Millennium Parks. It is a giant ribbon. It is the Maggie Daley ice skating ribbon, which makes it tons of fun. Next up is scenery, which got a 3, mainly because it is the cold season. Everything has officially been dying. Most of it is dead by now. It is not the greatest looking in the whole world. In general, that between fall and winter is always just bleak and dreary, because there's lights trying to cover up how depressing it all looks, but without the snow, it just looks sad. I am sorry, Maggie Daley, but no Christmas lights can cover up the dead feeling there is when all the leaves are gone, but there's no snow to cover any of it up. Of course, if you go in the winter, this will be slightly higher, as in pure winter where there is snow, though I would not do that because then you can't do the park. There's snow everywhere, and don't do that to your kids. Oh my goodness. I am not a big fan of winter. I don't like the snow. That's why I'm going all these places now, before all the snow hits, and then I'm not going to have a fun time anymore. Next up is organization, which is getting a 4 because it is easy to navigate. Maggie Daley is, at least in my opinion, slightly bigger than Millennium Park. I'm not sure how big they are actually comparison-wise. I would need to look that up. But Maggie Daley feels a bit bigger, but it is still pretty easy to navigate. I would say the hardest area to navigate is that park. Once you get in, it's kind of hard to figure out where you can get out because there's not a lot of options. I'm pretty sure it's just a couple different spots. But that whole park area does feel like a maze, which is fantastic for the kids. They're going to feel like they're in this beautiful wonderland. But for the rest of us, we just want to know how to get out. Finally, time value, which I gave a 4. Maggie Daley is fantastic year-round, but it is better in the warm season. Now, let's go ahead and talk about those add-ons, which in this case is going to be the ice skating rink. The ice skating rink does cost money almost no matter what. I believe is between $17 and $21 if you need rental ice skates, $17 of which is during non-holiday days, aka the weekdays. On the weekends, it is that $21 charge. But if you bring your own ice skates, your first session is free, and after that, it will cost you $5, which is not the worst. And if you are already an avid ice skater, you will likely have your own skates, making it pretty well worth it. So if you don't know how to ice skate and you're trying it for the first time, maybe just buy some ice skates from Goodwill and go to Millennium Park first before you start spending a whole bunch of money, because ice skating's hard. I tried to learn how to ice skate as a kid. My mom put me in lessons, and I could not even get past the first level. I was bad at it. I just could not get it. My balance is bad. I've always had very bad balance. But if you have good balance, go ahead and give that ice skating rink a try. Finally, let's get into the totals. Maggie Daley Park gets an average score of a 3.8, almost bringing it all the way up to a 4, and a total score of 19 out of 25. It did not get any perfect scores. In the area it ranked the least in was scenery, which is a 3, and everything else got a 4, making it a solid, good place to go, even though it is cold. So, is Maggie Daley Park worth your time? I think the answer to this one is a yes. I think Maggie Daley is always fun to go to, but it is especially good if you have kids. That is the big one. Maggie Daley Park is a place that is highly dependent on whether or not you have children with you. The kids are going to absolutely love this place. It's fantastic to bring them. And of course, it is free, which is always a fantastic bonus. And in my opinion, Maggie Daley Park is infinitely better than Millennium Park. Millennium Park, of course, being its sister park, which are connected over a highway with a fun little bridge that weaves around. Though a fair warning about that bridge, that being that bridge is kind of hard to cross. It is really easy going from Millennium Park to Maggie Daley Park over the bridge, but it's really hard doing the opposite because it is uphill, and what's uphill going both ways, no matter what, it has to go up like this. When you're at Maggie Daley Park, you are playing, you are running around. As a kid, I always loved the part where I got to go there and I got to run around and play for a couple hours, but I always hated the part where I was already tired and exhausted and now I had to go back up that damn bridge. So my advice, make sure you have plenty of water, make sure you have plenty of food, and make sure you're ready for that trek back if you have kids, because they are not going to be having the most fun time if they're playing on that thing for multiple hours and having to go back over it. But other than that, it is a very fun place to go, and of course, better than Millennium Park. Both are pretty good, and both definitely deserve a visit. But if you have kids, definitely spend most of your time at Maggie Daley Park. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know I enjoyed making it. If you did, do not forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!